Cheeseburger.
Now, Andy Ruiz Jr., after an 18-month hiatus, he had one round prior to his fight last night where he dominated Kevin Johnson over the entire 10 rounds. Probably argue he won every single round. And I know that he said afterwards that he's not too happy with the fact that he didn't stop him. He had him on a couple of occasions in this fight, and then he stepped back and he let him off the hook. And he did this on purpose. It's not like he decided to try something else. No, he didn't want to stop him. That was pretty much it. And he kind of says afterwards that I kind of wish that I did. For me, I would have to disagree with Andy on this one, where Andy Ruiz, he needed these rounds. As I said, only one round in 18 months. That's not good, especially if you're looking at some of the big fights out there. So for me, going 10 rounds with Kevin Johnson, okay, on paper, it doesn't look too good. But if you look at the bigger picture, that's exactly what he needed to do, was get the rounds in, and he dominated every single round. He showed that, he's still got the stamina. I mean, for a big guy, much like Big Baby Jarrell Miller, these guys can go the rounds, and their punch output is phenomenal. So that kind of leads me on to the next part, where Andy Ruiz Jr. is actually calling out Big Baby Jarrell Miller. Yeah, that is one hell of a tasty fight, no doubt. Both of these guys, big guys, as I said, full of energy, and punch output is just phenomenal. So I would love to see this fight. And this is what Andy Ruiz said. "I'll still need some work, but having these 10 rounds was a good experience. We're just improving and getting better. I'd love to face Jarrell Miller or any of the big guys out there, and they'll probably underestimate me after this performance, but the next one will be different." So that was Andy Ruiz Jr.'s statement. Now, this is music to my ears. I'm pretty old school in the sense that I say it here in the UK all the time. For me, I want to see the likes of Nick Webb, Dave Allen, Sam Sexton, Daniel Dubois, Nathan Gorman, Cash Ali, Naylor Ball, all these kind of guys fighting each other. That's what I want to see. And it's the same with the lower weights as well. For, say, light heavyweight, Anthony Yard, I want to see him fighting Joshua Buatsi, Callum Johnson, Hosea Burton, and so on, and all the way up and down the weight divisions. I like to see the domestic clashes clean up domestically. And that's what Andy Ruiz Jr. is looking to do. I mean, if you look at the WBC title holder, he who shall not be named for obvious reasons, old Voldemort over there, because he's still in my bad books right now, he never cleaned up. Who's he beaten? He's beaten Eric Molina, and that is it. Now, potentially, he could be fighting Dominic Brazil next. Great, but this is something that he should have done a long time ago. And for Andy Ruiz Jr. to be looking at Jarrell Miller is fantastic. For me, in America, the heavyweights and up and down the divisions as well, they should fight each other. It creates a buzz around their own country, around their own communities, and it transcends across the boxing world. So for Andy Ruiz Jr. and Big Baby Jarrell Miller, Adam Kownacki, Dominic Brazil, Charles Martin, and so on, these guys should fight each other. That's what they should be doing. And it gets a lot of interest, Throw in Jared Washington in there as well. Throw in Mansour Ali. Get these guys fighting each other. So all the time, it always seems that their eyes are turning left, looking at who's there to fight abroad. Which European fighter can we fight? Which UK fighter can we fight? That kind of thing, which is fine in itself, but to keep boxing alive and to keep it interesting in your own country, domestic clashes are massive. And Andy Ruiz Jr. calling out Big Baby Jarrell Miller is a pick and fight, let's be honest. Who could you really say is going to win that one? I do not know. Honestly, I don't know. That's why I want to see it. So big on Andy Ruiz Jr. for calling out Big Baby Jarrell Miller. Fantastic news. Miller, he needs an opponent. He doesn't want to fight Pulev. Well, he didn't want to fight Pulev. He does want to fight Pulev, of course he does, but he doesn't want to have to go to Bulgaria. He does seem a little shy about going outside of the UK, outside of the US. Hey, fair enough. Everybody likes their home comforts, should we say. But sometimes you have to. But if you're unwilling to do that, then do it domestically. Now, we know Miller, he's already beaten Jared Washington. Great. That's one notch from domestic. So maybe Miller should look at Andy Ruiz. Maybe you should look at Charles Martin, Dominic Brazil, and so on, Adam Kownacki. Well, we know Miller and Kownacki won't fight each other. We know that because they're very good friends, and that's fair enough. But Shannon Briggs, he needs an opponent. Why not Shannon Briggs against Ruiz Jr.? These are the kind of fights that will get me interested, even though I'm not based in the US. It would make me look towards the US and go, yes, I want to see that fight. And I would love to see Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Big Baby Jarrell Miller. I'd love to see it, and I hope it happens. I really do. I know these kind of things, they do kind of flare up as well, because nobody wants to be the B-side. Nobody does. And it's hard to say who would be the A-side and the B-side in this one. You could probably argue that Andy Ruiz Jr. would be the A-side, potentially, because he has been in a world title shot or world title fight. Some people said that he beat Joseph Parker, and that's fair enough. So maybe you could probably argue that one. So it's like, what I mean is, who gets the biggest split? Who gets the most? I mean, for me, if it's domestically and nobody is a world champion, then why not 50-50? Things can be worked out. I like this fight, and I hope it happens. So anyway, drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.